Good evening. I'm Pedro Hazel Jr.
I'm Steve Ferguson.
Welcome to the PedroFergie Sportscorner. Tonight we'll be discussing the MLB playoff scene, the Yankees, the Giants and Jets, and more. If you like what you see, hit the subscribe button. The internet address is youtube.com/@PedroFergie Sportscorner. That's all one word. Again, it's youtube.com/@PedroFergie Sportscorner. That's all one word. Steve and I just want to thank you, a big thank you for those who watched our last show on YouTube 2 weeks ago. Thanks for your support, and keep watching our show and our hard-hitting commentary.
Amen.
All right. The MLB playoffs have been incredible so far. The most exciting so far being last night when the Seattle Mariners beat the Detroit Tigers 3-2 in 15 innings in the American League Divisional Series, winning that series 3-2. They now face the Toronto Blue Jays in the American League Championship Series. The Blue Jays having beat the Yankees 5-2 in their series Wednesday night, winning that series 3-1. The ALCS starts tomorrow night in Toronto. The Jays will be making their first trip to the ALCS since 1993, the year they won their last championship, while the Mariners will make their first appearance since 2001. In the National League side, the Dodgers won the National League Championship Series 3-1 after beating the Philadelphia Phillies 2-1 in 11 innings Thursday night in LA. They faced the winner of the Milwaukee Brewers Chicago Cubs series in the National League Championship Series Monday night. The Brewers and Cubs are tied at 2 games apiece in the National League Divisional Series and will play tonight in Chicago. The Cubs beat the Brewers 6-0 Thursday night, forcing a 5th game. Pretty exciting series. What do you think about all of this, Steve?
Well, first of all, let me say this. Very unusual to see a 15-inning game for the last game of the series.
Yeah.
I was very impressed with Tariq Skubal. He is definitely the ace of the American League. He had 13 strikeouts in 6 innings against the Mariners.
I think it was 14, but
I think it was 13, but what a great outing. He pitched. It was a superb outing from him. He was throwing his fastball at over 100 miles an hour. He was facing arguably at least one of the Seattle Mariners aces. Some people would say it's Brian Wu, but George Kirby also pitched exceptionally well. He got 6 strikeouts in his 5 innings of work. But what was more amazing was how many base runners both sides left on base.
Oh, they left a hotel.
Yes, that's a great way of saying it. The Mariners had so many opportunities to score, and the fact that they have not even been past this round in their entire 49-year history.
Well, they did go to the ALCS in 2001, as I noted. But they've never been to the World Series.
They have never even been to this round that they're going to be in tomorrow.
Oh, yes, they will. They have. 2001. I just mentioned that.
Okay, but
they've never been to the World Series.
Correct. But here's the thing. The fact that they finally got to this point after 49 years, do you imagine the emotion that their fans were feeling? We criticize the Mets and the Yankees when they're not in the playoffs or when they only get through 1 or 2 rounds at best. This team has waited half a century almost to even get there. This is a phenomenal thing that's happened for Seattle.
You remember this? They went to the ALCS in 2001. They've never been to the World Series. That's what you're talking. But this is you're talking. This is ALDS.
Right.
Now it's ALCS. Seattle has been there before.
Right. ALCS, but it is very amazing.
But still, it's nice to see the Mariners get there.
It's a new team, and it's a team that has struggled for years.
Yes.
They had 1 year where they won 116 games, only to be eliminated by the Yankees in the second round of the playoffs.
And that was in 2001, the last time they were in the ALCS.
And that's the part that's amazing. All those years that have passed, that they have not even been to the playoffs, and they finally got there and they won.
Yes.
It took them 15 innings. This team has had a history of failing in these kind of spots for years. I honestly didn't think they were going to make it. It seemed like the Tigers were putting the pressure on them many innings in that game. But the one thing they did, they never bent.
Yeah.
They managed to keep everything together. They used 6-7 pitchers. They kept battling. They used 3 starting pitchers to stay in the game, and they finally got the Detroit Tigers.
Yeah.
Now, do I expect them to get past the Toronto Blue Jays? I'll be honest with you, no, I don't. Toronto's offense is scintillating right now. Everybody in that lineup is dangerous, and they're getting Bo Bichette back very shortly. He will be in this series. He's the son of Dante Bichette. You all may remember him from years ago with the Colorado Rockies. He is their best hitter, but Vladimir Guerrero is definitely their second best hitter.
Oh, yeah.
He is getting over $500 million a year. And
$500 million for actually not that long, but that's his contract.
14-year contract.
14-year contract, $500 million.
When he got that contract, a lot of people said they overpaid for him. But if you saw the way he performed against the New York Yankees, that's not true.
Yeah.
This is a guy who is earning every dollar for this team as much as you can based on a contract of that nature. But he has been absolutely terrific in the entire series. And it's not just him. His team has played really well.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And I'm talking about the rookie player, Addison Barger. Yes, he made one error that cost them the 3rd game of the series, but he's been really good.
Oh, yeah.
Alejandro Kirk, their catcher, has really hit in the clutch situations. This is a team that has been waiting for a long time to get back to the World Series.
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah.
In their history, they've only won 2 World Series, the 2 that they were in, 1992 and 3. They have not even been back to the playoffs since then.
Well, I mean, they did go in 2015. They did get to the playoffs.
Oh, that's true.
They did get to the postseason in 2015, but it's been a long time waiting.
Long time.
And they're in a very tough position. You know, you've got, and the Blue Jays are probably arguably the toughest division in baseball.
Yes.
American League East. You got the Yankees. You got the Jays, you got the Red Sox, you have the Orioles. Well, the Orioles, but
they didn't have a good year this year, but
last year they had the big year.
Yes.
Last year they had a big year.
Almost forgetting one other team, a real pain in the neck for a lot of these teams, the Tampa Bay Rays.
That I mentioned the Rays.
Okay, they normally are in this playoff scenario. They're not this year, but I think that is the toughest division right now.
Yes, it is, and that's probably why. And usually, when you're in that situation, there's usually 1 or 2 men out.
Yes.
And it was often the Jays, but not this time around.
Not this time around. And I will tell you my opinion. I thought that they would get by the Yankees, as tough as it was, and it was very tough. Toronto did win the division. They both won 94 games, but they had the tiebreaker, and that was the difference in the series.
That was the difference, yeah.
But what impressed me more about the Blue Jays wasn't just their bats. Their pitching was excellent.
Oh, yeah.
Kevin Gausman, 36 years of age. Don't you sleep on him.
Yeah.
He got out of a bases-loaded spot facing Aaron Judge and the next 2 hitters behind him. They did not stay. He only allowed 1 run. He walked that run in, and then he slammed the door in the Yankees' face.
Yeah.
And the next guy that really impressed me was that rookie pitcher they had, Trey Yasevich. This guy, in 5 1/3 innings, struck out 11 Yankees with a nasty split finger, one of the best ones I've seen in years, and a fastball at 95 miles an hour. They couldn't touch this guy. So I'm here to tell you right now, based on what I'm seeing, I think the Blue Jays can probably beat the Seattle Mariners, but the one advantage the Mariners have, they have 5 starters that are lights out.
Yeah.
Every one of them.
Pitching.
Castillo, and they've got Kirby and Brian Wu, who might arguably be their ace, and Logan Gilbert. This team has been known for pitching for years. Now, if they can survive Toronto's offense, then you may be looking at a 7-game series. That's what I think it might be a 6 or 7 game series. Seattle has a little bit more offense than people give them credit for. But they battle you, and they're tough, and they've got Cal Raleigh, the best 60 home run hitter catcher this side of Johnny Bench. He's phenomenal as a hitter.
Our next show will pretty much we'll probably be in the World Series. We'll be talking about the World Series on the next show 2 weeks from now.
Do you see Toronto getting to the World Series this year?
I can. The only thing is you've got, on the National League side, you've got the Brewers and the Cubs, and then you have to, and then of course you have the Dodgers.
Yes.
Now, Dodgers, they might have a tough time with. Dodgers, well, the Dodgers are the Dodgers.
Yes. That's a nice way of putting it. They find ways to win when nobody on the planet thinks it can be done.
Yeah.
I think now this Dodgers-Cubs series, this series to me is fascinating because you have a team like the Brewers who really you only know them by maybe one player. That's Christian Yelich. They're a team of fat battlers and fighters.
Mm-hmm.
They're tough, they're scrappy, they battle you, and they hit in the clutch.
Mm-hmm.
And I think tonight, although the Cubs have more talent as far as power hitters, that Brewer team is a nasty outfit to deal with. I think tonight you might see the Brewers upset the Cubs in this last game. Because if you remember the first game when they blew the Cubs away 9-3, they came after them like a video game. One hit after another. Choppers, bouncers, line drives, home runs. They annihilated the Cubs that first game. They bombed Matthew Boyd. He pitched very well the next time around. But this team, the Brewers, they want this title very badly.
Oh, yeah.
They have never won a title. It's hard to believe.
No, they have not. They got to the World Series in
Yes.
'82, but they never won a title.
And you can see the hunger they have and the desire they have to get there.
Mm-hmm.
I right now like their chances a little bit more than the Cubs, but I think the Cubs will battle them very hard. It may come down to a 1 or 2 run game. The Brewers' bullpen is also scintillating.
Yeah.
They have guys in that bullpen that none of us have heard of, but when they get you out, you'll know who they are.
Yes. Now, as for the Yankees, yet another postseason exit. Where did the Yankees go wrong? Where did they go right? What do you think they need to do to improve next season?
This is a really interesting question because you would figure the Yankees have 2 aces in the front of the rotation.
I mean, granted, they did not have Garrett Cole. He was out for the season.
I was about to say
John.
that. With Fried and Rodon, you figured you had a 19 and an 18 game winner at the front of the rotation. You have a pitcher like Ham Schlittler, who has been sensational.
Oh, yes. Sensational. That game against
in the Red Sox series, let me tell you, 12 strikeouts in 8 innings, 95, 97, 98, 100 miles an hour fastball, sliders. He challenged those hitters. He pitched well against the Blue Jays, a team that has an awesome lineup that does not strike out a lot. He gave them 6 innings and only gave up 2 runs.
Yeah, that was the game. That was the clinch game for the Jays.
He has a chance in another year or 2 to maybe be the top starter in that rotation.
Yeah.
Heel is pretty good coming off surgery. They have 4 really good starters. I think if you had Garrett Cole, it probably would have gone a little bit longer this
maybe
season.
to the next level,
Maybe to the next
ALCS,
game.
maybe to the World Series.
But the Yankees have a big problem with playing good, sound, fundamental baseball. That's what does them in.
Interesting.
Because if you remember a couple of those games, the Yankees threw the ball around on the field. They weren't consistent with their game plan. They did a lot of things wrong in big spots. I think that now comes down to what does Aaron Boone do with this team?
Mm-hmm.
I have never liked him as a manager. I'll be perfectly honest with you. He got the job years ago. He's had it for over 10 years.
Amazing how he keeps his job.
Yes. I think part of it has to do with Brian Cashman.
Brian Cashman, another one.
Right.
But he always seems to do the right thing. He always get the right people at the trade deadline.
Yes.
He always does that.
You know what? That's very true. And I'll say this. I'll briefly mention the Mets in this comment. When the Mets went after free agent, after players at the deadline, they missed on a couple of really good ones.
Yeah.
And the one that I said to you that I really wish the Mets had gotten was David Bednar.
You mentioned that, yeah.
I love him. He's really good. We had a chance to get him. He was in our league playing for Pittsburgh. There had been talk of him setting up for Diaz. I think that would have been a dynamite combination for the Mets.
Yeah.
But what they got was a guy who we thought was good in Helsley, who we'd like to see out of here quickly. Now, they missed on a couple of people. They missed on the San Francisco closer. He's very up and down, Doval. We don't know. One day he'll be awesome. The next day he gets bombed.
Mm-hmm.
So they weren't perfect on all their picks, but the ones they needed to be good on, they were.
Mm.
And they battled and they played hard. Aaron Judge, I have to tell you, for the first time maybe in his career, we're seeing somebody who is starting to understand how to hit in the postseason.
Mm-hmm.
He had a pretty good postseason for the first time.
Mm.
He had a huge home run to tie that game at 6, the one game the Yankees won. He hit mostly singles and doubles. He calmed down his swing. He wasn't shooting for the long ball all the time. That's a major improvement for him.
Mm.
Now, what do the Yankees do? I think maybe they have to look for getting some better defenders to back up these star players. Now, they may lose Bellinger on the free agent market. That's a big loss if they lose him.
Mm.
Rumor has it that the New York Mets really want this guy. And I'll tell you why. This guy can play not one, not two, not three, but 4 different positions. He's an excellent first baseman. He plays the outfield well, all 3 positions, left, center, and right. And he hit 29 home runs this year. He didn't start off the year well, but if you look at his numbers, he was closing in on 300 with almost 30 home runs. That would look so good in the Met uniform.
Yes, indeed.
Now,
the Mets need all the offense they can
get. The Mets not only need offense, they need much better defense.
Yeah.
This is a guy that would really help the Mets out in a lot of ways. So the Yankees are in a little bit of trouble because you're looking at Trent Grisham, who had a pretty good year for them also. He had 33 home runs. The batting average was in the 240s, but he's an excellent defender. I think they have to get some more defensive players around what they have. But they have to learn how to play fundamentally better in order to get to the top. A lot of these teams have the talent, including the Yankees, but they're missing the 1 or 2 ingredients to get there. They may need a certain player or a certain guy with their team that says, come on, guys, we're better than this. Let's go. I don't think Aaron Boone is the kind of manager who will say it to them like that. But if they can find a player like that, then the Yankees might have something going.
Interesting. Now on to football. The Giants won another game as they stunned the Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles 34-17 at MetLife Stadium Thursday night. Jackson Dart finished 17 for 25 for 195 yards and a touchdown, and also ran 13 times for 58 yards and another score. They are now at 2-4. They're beginning to show a pulse.
They are showing a pulse. Jackson Dart is the kind of guy that really will thrive in the New York market if they get more help around him.
Yeah.
He has not only the talent, but he has something that most New Yorkers have that are successful. He's got major cojones. He has guts. He's talented. He's confident. He's what the Jets and the Giants need. The Giants found their quarterback, and I think it's him. He plays the game like a veteran player.
Yeah.
He's not afraid of the moment. He's challenging you downfield. He's using his legs. He's throwing. He's doing an excellent job as a rookie.
Yeah.
He's getting help from Scatterbo. They're very good running back. They drafted out of Arizona State, by the way, in the 4th round. Right now, based on what I'm seeing of the Giants, they should build their team around these 2 guys.
I agree.
Scatterbo has been terrific, considering they didn't have their other running back, Tracy. He's been out for weeks with an injury. This guy has carried the offense.
Yeah.
So I think here's what the Giants need to do going into next season. They need to get a tight end and a couple of wide receivers to help Neighbors out, who's out, unfortunately, for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
But Brian Daboll may have saved his job by winning this game.
Yeah.
Because they had lost to the Saints the week before, a team that had not won a game.
Yeah.
They were 0-5.
Yeah.
And we thought, as fans of the team, to some extent, we thought that's a game they should have won.
Yeah, because they, we were saying, I see a comment here, they show the pulse against New Orleans, but they had too many turnovers.
Right.
That's what messed them up.
That has been a major problem, not only for the Giants, but the Jets as well.
We'll get to the Jets in a moment.
This is where the Giants really fail. They make so many errors, and a lot of them are really stupid errors. Holding, pass interference, all sorts of things that you really should know fundamentally you can't do them.
Yeah.
But I think this is almost like a disease that both of these teams have. The disease is losing. They need to learn how to start winning.
Yeah.
Part of the way you get started is cutting out all the mistakes.
And also, too, the Cowboy game.
Yes.
Another game they might have possibly won.
It was interesting because that game was Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
And he may have had his best game for the Giants that game. He was statistically spot on, threw for over 300 yards. He got enough time to throw. He was much better in that game than he had been in the previous ones.
Yeah.
But this is a team that has to gain their confidence.
Yes.
And I think once you see more of that from them, you'll see less mistakes.
Yes, indeed. Now, as for the 0-5 Jets, they travel to London tomorrow morning. Actually, they're playing in London tomorrow to play the Denver Broncos in Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Do you think the Jets will finally win their first game tomorrow? Do they have a chance?
I would say they have a puncher's chance of winning. I'll start that way. There was something that Aaron Glenn said that really reminds me how far on the food chain we are toward the bottom. When he said we are not the same old Jets, I beg to differ. We are worse than the old Jets, and I'll tell you why. Last year, with Aaron Rodgers here, they weren't great, but they were 2-3 after 5 games, almost at 500. This year, we are the worst team in the NFL. We have not won a game. We have played crappy defense, which is something they actually didn't do last year. They played fairly well defensively. This team is a total sieve of what they have been. You know, you talk about Gardner being the next Revis. I thought he was his first year. We have not seen that guy. I grant you, Revis was more talented in covering people, but we expected a lot from Sauce Gardner.
Oh, yeah.
And I respect Garrett Wilson, a very good wide receiver, but Jets, can't you get somebody else to play with this guy?
Oh, yeah.
Excuse me. You're going to get Mason Taylor, the 8th pick in the draft, when you had a chance, by the way, to get the best tight end in the league. You know where he's now? He's with the Indianapolis Colts, helping Daniel Jones resurrect his career. Remember that name? He used to be with the Giants. 6 years of garbage, except for 1 year, 2022, when his friend Saquon Barkley was responsible for 60% of their offense. And now people are talking about Daniel Jones might turn into a star.
Oh,
can you believe that? 6 years, he did nothing for this team. And now they're talking about he may be an all-star.
Wow.
That is insane. What's happening?
But again, too, tells you the type of team, tells you the type of players the Giants were drafting.
Right. They've really drafted poorly most of the time the last 10 years, with the exception of Neighbors. But what this team needs, and the Giants for that matter, get some depth on your roster. Don't settle for one-star player. Get as many of them as you can. You think the Dallas Cowboys or any other team in this league that's good sits on their behinds? No. You better get into that draft. And the one other thing both of you teams need, spend some money and get some stars in here. How are you ever going to get better like this?
The funny thing with Daniel Jones is, you know, he had a good season in 2022.
Yes, he did.
Go figure.
But that was the 1 year where he had a good season.
And that was the career year.
Right. In the 6 years that he was here, he only had one season that we can remember.
Yeah.
That doesn't say much for him.
No.
But what it does say about the Giants is how poorly organized they were, how badly they drafted, and they didn't work with this guy the way they should have. Now, let's hope with Jackson Dart they do it, because they really screwed up this quarterback.
Yeah.
And as for the Jets, we don't even have a quarterback. People complained before we got Aaron Rodgers, we don't have a quarterback. We had Zach Wilson. Remember him, how bad he was? Well, guess what? We got Aaron Rodgers only to lose him on the 4th play of the game to start the season last year. And guess what? He's with the Steelers, and he's playing well.
Yeah.
We don't have a quarterback. Look at Justin Fields. You're going to tell me he's good? I'll tell you, no, he's not. Here's why. In the league, he is the worst passer in the league in getting rid of the ball. It takes him 3.7 seconds to get rid of the ball. That may not sound like a lot. That's an eternity in the NFL.
Oh, God.
You have got to get the windows to throw to people when they're open is like this.
Yeah.
As soon as you rear back, bang, get rid of the ball.
Yeah.
Don't worry about throwing interceptions. Get the ball out of your hands quickly.
Yeah.
And maybe the team would wake up and say, oh, wow, he's throwing the ball well. There have been a few games he's thrown well. Opening day against the Steelers was the biggest shock to me. He got rid of the ball quickly. He ran for yardage. He's got some talent of an NFL quarterback. But they have to get a better one than him.
Yes. Indeed.
Next season, I swear to you guys, we have got to draft a good quarterback.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about
at least the way the Jets have been playing, they should be in a good position.
Yes, they might get the first pick, which would be amazing.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. When you have a chance to get those guys, you've got to step on it.
Yeah.
Last season, the Giants admitted, and Brian Daboll admitted, he wanted Jalen Daniels.
Yeah.
He told Shane, his GM, I want him. They didn't get him. Luckily, this year, Jackson Dart, they moved up in the draft for him, and he's performing beautifully. Now the Jets need to do the same thing.
Yeah.
You need a quarterback that comes in right away and gets the job done. Right. I'm not looking for 3-4 years development. I'm tired of this.
Yeah.
We haven't won anything in 15 years. We haven't even made the playoffs in 15 years.
Yeah.
When is that going to change? You know what? You see this number I'm wearing, 14? This guy, Sam Darnold, probably in the history of the Jets, I will say this in my opinion, the third best quarterback the Jets have ever had. Joe Namath, Pennington, and this guy. I'm not even putting Testaverde in there because he was colorblind, I found out. And he had talent, but he was not consistent as this guy. But that's it. I don't have anybody else that was that good.
Yeah.
Joe Namath was good in the 60s and 70s. That's over 50 years ago.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's like, Joe, you're going back all the way to Joe Namath.
Yes, because he's the only one who got us what we will probably never get again, a Super Bowl. The only one that this franchise has ever had. That's why he's almost deified in New York City.
Yeah.
People in this town who follow the Jets love him because he's the only one who did anything for us in all the years we've been around.
Yeah.
So I say to the Jets, even if you finish 1-16 this year, which could happen, you will finally get a number one pick.
Yeah.
And you better not blow it.
Yes.
We need to turn this around quickly. This guy who's running our team, Aaron Glenn, who used to play for us, who really believes we can get this turned around, I'd like to believe him also.
Darnold, even though we talk about Darnold, he was a good quarterback, but like I said, even though he was good, you mentioned that in the earlier years he was good, but the later years he wasn't as good. But again, too, he didn't have a lot of support.
Right. This is where both teams, Jets and Giants, fail. Always remember, as good as a quarterback is, you cannot win games without help.
That's right.
Look at the Commanders with Jalen Daniels.
Yeah.
They went out in the offseason. And remember, they almost made it to the Super Bowl last year.
Yeah.
They got another wide receiver to go with the one they have who's their star.
Yeah.
So that's what you do. You develop and you keep developing and you bring in as much talent as you have.
Yeah.
You don't leave these guys exposed. Mark Sanchez, who I was thinking of mentioning as probably the fourth best. The problem with him
I don't know about that.
Mark Sanchez, he
was all right. But
he got us to the playoffs twice.
Yeah.
And that's a big deal for the Jets. Let's put it that way. The fact that he got us there twice, he did have a good coach. He had Rex Ryan. Rex Ryan did one thing for the Jets. He scared the hell out of them and made them better. And maybe Aaron Glenn has to do the same thing now. Get in their faces. Tell them they're garbage because they are.
Yeah.
Look at the Giants. You see the Giants? You know why they might be better? Because maybe Brian Daboll said, I had enough. I'm not losing my job for you guys.
That's right.
Get your act together or I'm out of here.
That's right. That's right. A personal favorite of our team, first favorite of ours, the USC. You see me wearing my Trojan shirt. And this is a preview of the 4-1 Trojans playing with the 16th ranked Notre Dame Fighting Irish at 3-2 next weekend. Next Saturday at Notre Dame Stadium in South Bend, Indiana. Next Saturday, the 18th. Do you think they can beat Notre Dame in that hostile environment?
Wow. I have not seen a lot of USC this year, but I have been impressed with what I do know about them.
4-1.
They're 4-1. They almost won their one game they lost, and they were trailing 34-19.
That's right.
To Illinois, I believe.
They were actually ahead, but then they lost on a last-minute field goal.
But the fact that they came back and almost won that game tells me how much they've improved.
Yeah.
They have not been a good defensive team for the last 3 or 4 years, but I'm starting to see it's coming now.
But I think the USC has improved quite a bit. I'm surprised. For the last couple of years, since they joined the Big Ten, I was a little bit concerned.
Yes.
I was a little bit because, it's like you're sharing with all these other teams. And now finally you're getting to that level, 4-1.
Yeah.
Hopefully they can beat
Michigan.
Hopefully they can beat beat Michigan tonight.
Yeah.
And then beat Notre Dame next weekend.
Well,
So,
if those two things happen, this would be an incredible year for them.
yeah.
They will be 6-1 if that happens. They probably will have a legitimate shot of making the playoffs, which is something every USC fan wants at this point.
Yeah.
And I will say to our friend Amari, who is a huge Notre Dame fan, if this happens, you might be looking up at us and shocked and seeing how well we've improved. I do believe Notre Dame is a good team.
Yes,
they got to the final game. They lost the final game to Ohio State, and that's no disgrace. Ohio State is number 1 in the country right now.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say they did it mostly with their defense and their running game. They have not found a good quarterback in about 5 years, and I don't know if that's the fault of their coach, but they have not come up with anybody yet. Our team, USC, by the way, just so you know, we do have a good quarterback. And he, although his name is not coming to me right now, he's being considered for the Heisman Trophy in his junior year.
Wow.
I remember him. He played last year against them. We were 6-6 last year. We weren't anything to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember he played well for about 2/3 of that game.
Yeah.
In his freshman year. And I said to Amari, watch out for my team. We're going to be very good in 2 more years.
Yeah.
And the fact that we are playing in the Big Ten, which arguably right now might be the best conference, SEC was for a long time, but I think the Big Ten is now.
Yeah.
The fact that we are in this tournament and competing for a playoff spot should tell you we are on the rise.
Yes, indeed. By the way, on the topic of Bad Bunny being in the halftime show in Super Bowl 60 in February, I don't know about you, Steve, but as far as I'm concerned, he should be in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
He's one of the hottest acts in the world. 79 million subscribers on Spotify.
Wow.
That alone, this reason should be there. And usually a lot of hot acts usually are in the Super Bowl.
Yes, they are.
I agree. And so what if he sings in Spanish? It's 10 minutes.
Right.
10 minutes. For full disclosure, I've never heard his music. So what? There are many pop stars whose music I've never heard either. And if I don't like him, I can change the channel, go to the bathroom, make a snack, whatever. Yes, 10 minutes.
You can. I've heard of this guy. Obviously, he is a star.
Yeah.
Big deal star. It is really interesting that they're going to have him sing in this.
Yeah.
I think it is very much time that somebody who is non-white, non-black, Latino, very talented performer gets his shot.
Right. And he is an American being born in Puerto Rico.
Wow.
That's right.
Well, let's say this for him. Congratulations for you getting to this moment in your career, which a lot of stars want to be in.
That's right.
I remember years ago when we heard of Bruno Mars just coming on.
Yeah.
He put on a phenomenal show.
Yes, he did. I remember.
I like him very much. He is a true star.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to watch this Super Bowl with interest, seeing this guy perform.
And I think he'll probably get a lot of viewers because of all the publicity.
Yes.
Well, I mean, it's still 4 months from now, but still, with all the publicity, I think he's going to get a lot of attention.
I think he should.
Yeah.
And I wish him well, because we need to have more diversity in that event. And the more people we have that are of all different races and backgrounds, the more we will learn to love music.
And on top of that, some cases, the halftime show is better than the game itself.
That is
Hopefully
true.
the game will be decent. Hopefully the game will be good.
Let me say this. That's a good point. Bruno Mars in the game that we saw, and that was one of the worst Super Bowls I'd seen. I believe it was Seattle and Denver.
Oh, yeah, the 43-8 game.
I mean, I remember being at a friend's house that night, and I was thinking, if this guy doesn't wow me at halftime, I'm walking out of here.
Yeah.
This was an absolutely horrible game. He saved it that night. He put on a great performance, got me interested to watch him. I put up with the rest of the game. It was no better after that, but he was the star of that game.
Yes, indeed. For Steve Ferguson, I'm Pedro Hazel Jr. saying thanks for joining us. If you like what you see, hit the subscribe button. The internet address is youtube.com/@PedroFergie Sportscorner. That's all one word. Again, youtube.com/@PedroFergie Sportscorner. Have a good weekend, everyone.
Have a good night, guys.